July 28, 1914, September 1st, 1939, June 25th, 1950, February 25th, 1984. What do all of these dates have in common? War was declared. Thank you for tuning in to Tyler Vance Rants. I am your host, Tyler Vance himself. It is February 25th, 1984. Last week, the Russian bear Ivan Koloff vowed to take vengeance on the brand new NWA Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, Angelo Mosca Jr., and regain his lost championship. Jimmy Valiant's hair versus mask challenge to Paul Jones's Assassins was accepted, and a storm was brewing between Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik. As we tune in to WWF Championship Wrestling, the team of Gene Okerlund and Vince McMahon are once again on commentary, and they spend a few minutes recapping Tito Santana's recent WWF Intercontinental Championship win 2 weeks ago, right before the champion takes on Goldie Rogers. Right as soon as the match begins, Andre the Giant heads down to the ring and attempts to shake everyone's hand. The reason I say attempts is because Goldie Rogers refuses. For his trouble, Santana makes short work of Rogers, putting him quickly away for the 1-2-3, following a flying forearm. The reason why Andre the Giant came down to the ring and tried to shake everyone's hand is quickly revealed as we head backstage for an interview with the Giant by Gene Okerlund. Andre the Giant lets us know that he'll be taking a brief absence from the WWF as he travels across the world, honoring other commitments that he's made to other wrestling companies. Before he leaves, Andre then praises the WWF locker room and hopes that while he's gone, he'll be able to face off against equally as talented competition. Rudy Diamond is in the ring next, and he's up against Dr. D, David Schultz, who's accompanied to the ring by his manager, Roddy Piper. There is absolutely no opportunity for Diamond to demonstrate how tough he may be as the Doctor absolutely shatters him. A diving elbow from the second rope secures another win for Dr. D. Back on February 4th, we were informed that Bob Backlund would be taking a hiatus from the sport of professional wrestling. In honor of his past WWF accomplishments, we're treated to some black and white footage of his amateur wrestling days in high school. It's sometimes nice to see the humble beginnings of a former WWF World Heavyweight Champion, even if they are a Boy Scout. The next match sees the team of Salvatore Bellomo, Frank Williams, and Rocco Verona take on all three of the Wild Samoans, Afa, Sika, and Samula. The Samoans are accompanied to the ring by their manager, Captain Lou Albano. I've criticized Samula in the past, claiming that he is the weakest link of the Wild Samoans. And it seems that Afa and Sika have noticed that as well here in this match. They send Samula out to the ring for some hard knocks, first-hand experience training. However, the tactic doesn't seem to go over very well, as when Samula is in the ring, all he ends up doing is getting ganged up on and or beaten. Once Afa and Sika do get involved, the match takes a 180-degree turn, and the two Wild Samoans start demolishing their opponents one by one. A Samoan drop from Sika on Rocco Verona is enough to secure the win for the Wild Samoans. Mr. Fuji and Tiger Chung Lee look to add Steve Lombardi and Ken Jugan to their list of accomplishments in this next tag team match. Lee absolutely proves his dominance and gets a shoulder breaker win over Ken Jugan to secure another W for his team. Backstage, we are welcomed once more to Piper's Pit, and this week, Roddy Piper's guest is the Masked Superstar. We get to learn a little bit more about the Superstar, and we learn that he has been able to remain unmasked for 11 years. The Superstar also mentions the fact that because he has managed to remain unmasked for 11 years, he views it as an own personal challenge and championship-like quality. The Masked Superstar then states that while he does appreciate Roddy Piper's ability to spot talent, I agree, he then also leaves stating,
I do just about anything I want to do, to anybody I want to do, when I want to do it. You understand me, Piper?
Okay, I'll admit it, he's growing on me. Eddie Gilbert takes on the Iron Sheik, who's accompanied by Ayatollah Blasi in singles competition in the next match. After Gilbert misses a crossbody, the Iron Sheik takes advantage, placing his opponent in the camel clutch. Just as soon as the Iron Sheik is about to make Gilbert submit, Sergeant Slaughter rushes the ring and chases both the Iron Sheik and Ayatollah Blasi backstage. Then,
Iron Sheik! I declare war on you!
War's been declared. Everybody, all hands on deck. You don't have a choice. You have to pick a side. Me, I'm on the side of the Iron Sheik, who was unjustly attacked by that warmonger, Sergeant Slaughter. The Polish power, Ivan Putski and Ron Shaw, both undecided yet in the Iron Sheik Sergeant Slaughter war, are competing against each other next.
Some kind of a side headlock.
You did so well, Okerlund, but you still messed it up. It's just a headlock. Calling this a competition wouldn't be fair, as Ivan Putski takes Ron Shaw down so fast that if I were a paying fan, I'd want a refund. Championship Wrestling's main event sees Jose Luis Rivera go up against Bill Dixon. While usually impressive, Rivera seems to have gotten a little bit comfortable in his routine as he ends up using one too many headlocks in this match. Dixon gets wise to this and goes on the offensive, and it's only a lucky inside cradle by Jose Luis Rivera that secures him a win. You can do so much better, Rivera. Stop disgracing yourself. Now that WWF Championship Wrestling is over, let's tune into the NWA's Worldwide Wrestling program and see what's going on down there. We immediately are joined by David Crockett and Johnny Weaver on commentary as they bring us a tag team match between Paul Jones's Assassins against Keith Larsen and Bret Hart. Hart is the real standout here as he comes to his team's rescue more than once. His efforts are in vain, however, as a loaded headbutt from Assassin number 1 is enough to put him down for the victory. Holy crap, I love the Junkyard Dog. Holy crap! I hate the Junkyard Dog! Who does this mangy mutt think he is coming out and attacking Paul Jones and the Assassins like he's Jimmy Valiant? He better have a damn good explanation for this. If you remember last week, Ricky Steamboat, who is retired, was offered a chance that most wrestlers will never receive in their careers. An opportunity to face the NWA World Heavyweight Champion for the championship. Steamboat had to think it over and couldn't give Crockett Jr. an answer last week. But this week, we're about to get an answer as Tony Schiavone joins the former NWA World Tag Team Champion in his home.
Jim Crockett approached you with a chance to take on the world's heavyweight champion Ric Flair March 17th in Greensboro for the world's title. And what's your decision?
Tony, it was a big surprise. I mean, a real big surprise.
You kind of ambushed me. All of you.
Then he approached me right there on TV in front of all my fans and in front of all the gym members there and approached me with an envelope.
You wrote me and asked if you could see my post-wrestling business venture, my gym. And I said, sure. Then suddenly in front of my customers, your employees, including my family, did you tell them what you were going to do, Jimmy? Because you made me feel really uncomfortable. You made it almost impossible for me to say no. But you know what? I love money.
I've made my decision, and that is I'm going to go for the gold.
It's all settled then. Ricky Steamboat will face the NWA World Heavyweight Champion on March 17th for the title. You know, I bet Dirty Dick Slater is so happy right now. Speaking of Slater, he's going to be having a match right now against another person he has bad blood with, Greg the Hammer Valentine. This match will see the winner advance to the finals in the NWA Television Championship tournament. And if Slater's in a bad mood, well, now's the perfect time to take it out on someone. Both Slater and Valentine are incredibly physical in this entire match, and it has echoes of the last time they met, when Slater beat Valentine for the NWA United States Heavyweight Championship, a championship that he still carries to this day. The pair wrestle their way outside of the ring, and with 1 second to spare, Dirty Dick Slater slides back into the ring while Greg the Hammer Valentine is counted out. Greg Valentine is furious. Next up is more tag team action, this time between the NWA World Tag Team Champions Bob Orton Jr. and Don Kernodle. They're accompanied by their manager Gary Hart against Tim Horner and Vinny Valentino. To start the match off, Kernodle dishes out a vicious clothesline to Horner. From there, Kernodle and Bob Orton Jr. just toy with their opponents, and eventually, Kernodle drops his knee on Valentino for the 1-2-3. Backstage, David Crockett has Dory Funk Jr. ready for an interview, and Funk Jr. states that the fact that Dick Slater claims that he is the true NWA World Heavyweight Champion is insulting. Well, I hate to break it to you, Funk Jr., but you're gonna have to get over it. This probably all stems from the fact that Funk Jr. was beaten by Slater last week in the Television Championship tournament, and now he's just upset about it. Chief Wahoo McDaniel then comes out upon Dory Funk Jr.'s request and just says that he agrees with absolutely everything his friend Dory just said. Thanks for your input, Chief.
All right, when you talk about the Boogeyman Jam, you gotta talk in the same breath about the Junkyard Dog.
All right, Junkyard Dog, you've got some explaining to do.
I think about the 84 Jam with the Boogeyman, and we definitely gonna boogie.
The Junkyard Dog states very clearly that the reason that he helped out against Paul Jones and the Assassins earlier on in the night is because he is here to help out his good friend, the Boogie Woogie Maniac, Jimmy Valiant. I knew you couldn't be trusted. Another of Gary Hart's clients takes to the ring, and this time we get to see the Great Kabuki take on Brickhouse Brown in singles competition. Brickhouse Brown demonstrates just how fast and athletic he actually is in this match against the Great Kabuki. However, he is a rookie and he does end up getting caught making rookie mistakes here and there, which leads the Great Kabuki to use that dreaded nerve pinch he always seems to go to. He doesn't use it once, not twice, not 3 times, but he ends up using the nerve pinch submission on Brickhouse Brown a total of 4 times the entire match. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. After spending so much time on Brickhouse Brown's shoulder, you'd think that the Great Kabuki would put him out by attacking the shoulder. Instead, he wins by getting a diving punch. Wild! The main event of this week's Worldwide Wrestling sees the newcomer Tully Blanchard take on Sam Houston. Last week, Paul Jones came out and gave Tully Blanchard some free advice, and it seems to have really paid off. Not only did Blanchard win that match, but he's also dominating this match as well, utilizing several technical holds over Houston. Jones is so impressed that while on guest commentary with Crockett Jr. and Weaver, he says that he wants to sign Tully Blanchard as one of his new clients. Jones then heads down to the ring to keep a closer eye on his prospect as Tully Blanchard secures a win over Houston, following a suplex onto the ropes, then the mat. The last word of the night sees David Crockett Jr. talk to the Assassins about the upcoming match they have against Jimmy Valiant for the rest of his hair against one of their masks. To this, all Assassin number 1 has to say is,
You belong in the gutter, wallowing with the winos because that's where you came from.
oh, pure poetry. With that, we come to the end of another week. A week that saw Dirty Dick Slater advance past Greg the Hammer Valentine in the NWA Television Championship tournament. A week that saw Andre the Giant declare that he will be temporarily leaving the WWF as he travels the world, and a week that also saw Sergeant Slaughter declare war on the Iron Sheik. Oh yeah, and Ricky Steamboat succumbs to peer pressure and the almighty greenback as he accepts Jim Crockett Jr.'s bribe of $10,000 to come out of retirement and face Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Can you really blame Steamboat though? $10,000 is a lot of money, whether it's in 1984 or 2023. If approached with the same offer, knowing that I get $10,000 whether I compete in the match and lose, or compete in the match and become World Heavyweight Champion, I win either way. Can you say that you would do anything different? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Tyler Vance Rants. Don't forget to follow me on social media, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you never miss a beat, and I will see you next week. So long for now. Tito Santana makes quick work of the person. Why did I say the person? We are treated to some black and white footage of Backlund's early days in amateur high school football. Football! No, we're talking about wrestling. He views that as his own personal. Just as soon as the Iron Sheik is about to bake Gilbert some cookies. Speaking of Slater, he's currently in a match with another person that he has bad blood with. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for so much tuning. Tyler Rants in.